Hi, it's JD from Moji Masala, and today we're going to be making sweet masala chai. We'll give it a couple of minutes, or a minute or two, and see who shows up. Thank you for joining on Instagram Live on a beautiful snowy day here on the east end of Long Island. In the interim, we steeped 3 tea bags of red rose tea, which is a good strong black tea. So it's ready to go, so we didn't have to wait for that. Now, the first thing that we're going to do in order to get started is we're going to open up, and one of the best parts of our sweet masala, which is roughly 12 different spices, is you don't have to measure anything, you don't have to put anything in. When I first learned how to make chai from spending several years in India, and everyone in India has their own kind of chai making, so I took a little bit of this, a little bit of the north and the south. Anyway, I have my own, and I put it all in this bag. And what we decided, or what we started to try and test, was how could we make it as effort and easiest as possible. We didn't have a lot of time. I know COVID life, everybody's still trying to get as much in as they can. This chai keeps us going. Around 3 o'clock, instead of doing a coffee or espresso, we hit this chai. If we brew it properly, it's super strong, super delicious. And although we are going to use a little bit of sugar, not refined sugar today, sometimes you can use this sweet masala as a alternative for, so I'm going to open it up, and the sweet masala is ground super fresh. Inside the sweet masala, we have fennel, coriander, dried rose petal, honey powder, vanilla powder, nutmeg, allspice, date powder, lavender, and then a couple other secret little things, but dried rose petals. Anyway, so the best thing you need to do when you're first starting to make a sweet masala chai is to take the sweet masala and cinnamon. I forgot to mention cinnamon. So what we're making today is about 4 cups. So for 4 cups of chai, but if you want it stronger, seriously, feel free to go ahead and take more. I'm going to take a pretty robust pour, 1 tablespoon of the chai. Overflow, but we like it. So you can see the spices. And when we grind our spices, we don't ground them so super thin that you can't really see the spices, because sometimes we like having the spices be a little bit different. So I'm going to coat the pan. I'm going to coat the pan as such. Now, first thing I'm going to do.
Couple people joined here. I'm just showing that you've already steeped the tea here ahead of time, just so they know.
So I'm going to
just toasting the spices.
This chai for about 20 seconds. So what I'm really doing is I'm opening up the spices in super hot. Some chefs may call this toasting the spices, but I like to call it activating the spices. It really activates the spice and gets it really, really ready to go. If you don't do this, you definitely can taste the difference, which is not terrible. It's just this way I like opens the spice, and you really get the full flavor of the spice.
And that raw flavor goes away.
Yeah, that really earthy, raw. Exactly. All our spices are sourced globally. We like to use small independent farmers, and they're really high quality spices, which also means that, all spices, they do come from the ground. We like to use non-irradiated spices, so they haven't had any radiation. Okay, so now this has been going on for about roughly 20 seconds. I'm going to do for about 5 more.
You can
and
smell
I'm going to move it, and you can start to smell it. I like to typically do a drop of sunflower oil, and then you could really see the spice open up when there's a little bit of liquid. Shireen doesn't like that, so today I didn't do that.
Thank you.
But you can smell it as such. So as soon as you start to open up, what I do is I pre-poured 2 cups of oat milk, and this is an oat milk chai. And immediately you can see the color of the oat milk start to change, and I'm going to immediately move it down to simmer. And this is just to give a chance for the spices to get into the oat milk. Now, while I'm doing that, and while that's moving, move it up a little bit, I'm going to take the tea bag, very simply, and I'm going to get it ready to put into the tea. So what we're trying to do in the meantime, I'm keeping an eye on the pan, because what we're hoping to do is to boil the oat milk over. And when you boil the oat milk over, it really...
So we turn the heat back up.
We turn the heat back up, yeah. We turn the heat back up. I probably could have left it up, but I just instinctively, I turned it down because I was...
Wanted to integrate the spices first and then turn the heat up.
I'm using the Pyrex, and I take the Pyrex, and now I've taken all of that. And so now we have this fresh, beautiful, strong Assam black tea. Okay, now in the meantime, if you're somebody who really likes a sweet chai and really can't live without the sugar, now's the time that you can put in, you can put in a tablespoon of sugar. It's a good time.
We go with the sugar and the raw.
To go into the sugar, the raw, because the heat with the sugar, the raw really opens up that sugar. So now, what I'm looking to do is really open up. And yes, you can use whole milk also. Like my mother-in-law never thought about using oat milk at all. We got to know and use oat milk in chai. One of our friends owns a restaurant called Nourish. It's out in Costa Mesa, California. And their chef Prakash, who's an Ayurvedic chef, he's really
amazing.
Good. Really well known also in that field. He turned us on to it because it's a really rounded, creamy, full flavor that we enjoy. But if you like milk, please feel free. And my mother-in-law not only does like milk, she'll put 3-4 tablespoons of half and half or heavy cream in, and that's just how they do it, I guess, in Kashmir. Which
half
is
and half, not cream.
Not the cream. I've seen her do that though.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've seen her do that. But I can just say one thing. When I came around and we started doing Thanksgiving, I was always trying to find a dish that I could make, and it's not really necessarily American Thanksgiving, so it was really Kashmiri Indian Thanksgiving. But I said, look, I know how to make the chai, and that's what I did. And after the first time, everybody loved it. So then everybody started going with my chai. So that's why we wanted to.
We only have JD's chai at Thanksgiving now.
Yeah, but it's very easy to make. Like anybody can actually do this. So now what I'm hoping.
There is an art to it.
There's an art to it.
Takes practice.
It's a little practice. The key is
a couple times.
Yeah, the key now is to just get this this really to boil over. But you got to be careful because when it boils, it's gonna really boil over quickly.
Yeah, don't walk away.
Yeah, don't walk away from this. Otherwise, you'll be cleaning this whole thing, which I've done many a time. Where Shireen yells at me, and then she ended up cleaning it, and then I got yelled at twice.
And then I do it.
And then she does it because I don't do it well enough.
No, then I boil it over. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't walk away.
You can't walk away. So you're watching it now, and that's why we use that very deep saucepan because of that reason. See now it's starting to come up now, and you can see it. And as soon
remove
as
it from heat, or if you have gas, just turn it off.
We move it,
and then it goes right. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, and then it goes right down. Okay.
So.
And I like to do this maybe once or twice, just to get that going a little bit. And if you like something like your chai super sweet, now's another time you can put. We're not going to do that today because we don't really like the added sugar. Or you can also obviously add sugar in the end. Okay, so now it's really boiling over. You can see the spices are opening up. And this is oat milk. Dairy and milk usually seems to react a lot stronger at hotter temperatures. So now I'm going to now put.
So this was just the oat milk and the spices here.
Right,
if anyone joined along the way, and we are going to add the actual steeped brewed black tea.
And immediately you'll see that beautiful dark brown. And what's going to happen is we're going to simmer this for a little bit, and then we're going to boil it over again. But in the meantime, it's going to evaporate a lot of the water, and you're going to notice that the tea is going to get darker and darker and darker. And you know, we even though there's vanilla powder, and you do get a little bit of vanilla, feel free to experiment. Like we like this Frontier vanilla. If I want to, I'll just put a drop in there. You don't need to. I just happen to be really like vanilla. I put a drop in. You don't need it. All the spices that you need for this is in this bag. And I have the recipe is on the will be on the website.
Beach Bum 516 says send some to Nahant.
Okay, we will send some to Nahant, 100%. And if anybody wants this recipe, DM us and leave your email. I'm happy to send it. I'm happy to email it directly to you, of course. Okay, so now I'll just stir a bit, and you're going to notice the color is getting darker because what's happening is some of the water is starting to evaporate. So now I'm going to turn it up, and what I'm hoping to do again is the same thing we did the first time. I like to boil it over 3 times. So let's consider the first time, even though we did it twice, the one, and I'll do it 2 more times here. And that's it. I mean, it's a pretty simple recipe, but it's super delicious. But I'll tell you who is the judge. The real Kashmiri in the room will be the judge.
I love this tea. I already know.
So it's boiling over. Again, not completely. I'm gonna wait till it's almost like last minute. Give Shireen a heart attack. It's more fun that way. And then I'll take it off. It'll cool down. You can blow on it a little bit. And I'm gonna boil it over one more time. And this is, if you like, I'm gonna boil it over one more time. You can let this simmer for another 5-6 minutes if you want. If you want to put sugar, this is also another time you can put sugar in. Frankly, I'll let it simmer for maybe 2 more minutes and let it go. But just so you know, I don't want to keep everyone here all day afternoon. But when you see it here, waiting for it to boil over. And at this point, we have a gas stove and it's on high heat.
Hi, Dariush.
I think our recipe calls us to simmer it for about 10 minutes. We'll do 2 today, but just for performance sake, but you can do 10, it's fine. I think it really amalgamates the tea and the oat milk really, really well.
A couple of people just joined towards the end
who's
here.
here?
So Dariush, Visa, G Foodie.
Hi.
And
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining. We'll just to update you, we steeped some black tea, toasted some sweet masala.
This is our sweet masala.
Mixed it with some oat milk and just combined the two, or kind of letting it boil over a couple times to really lock in all the flavor.
And this will be the last time we boil it over, and we'll let it simmer. And if any of you want the recipe, DM us. Just DM me recipe with your email address. I'm happy to send it directly to you if you want. And of course, we'll post this video when it's over if you have any questions. It's pretty simple. There is an art to it, and I think the art that comes with it is actually knowing the colors. I kind of know when the tea is ready by the color of the tea, if that makes any sense to anyone. I like 2-3 shades darker than dark brown. To me, seems to be the right color. Okay, so it's boiled over now twice. Now I'm going to simmer it, and let's simmer it for a minute or 2, and we're going to serve it. That's it. And you can see a lot of the floral. Now you can strain some of this out if you want, some of the bigger spice chips, or keep it in. We tend to keep it in because we like it, but feel free to do another strain if you like. And by the way, this is super delicious cold. If you like cold chai, this is really good. Let it cool down and then put it into your fridge and have it later or whenever. It's pretty good that way. Now we're gonna enjoy these, I think, with our 4.5-year-old Nora decided to make some cookies earlier. And
Holiday cookies with her grandma.
Holiday cookies with her Nana. So she did that, and these are gonna go very well with that.
Chai and holiday cookies.
And by the way, I'm a very by feel kind of cook, but with some things I do take timers and stuff, but Shireen's shooting this video with my phone. Otherwise I would say, Siri timer 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and I try to keep that, and it works pretty well. But if you know certain things, like certain the color, like I love the color of this chai. If you can come up and just see it. You want to show the color?
Mm-hmm. Is this the right color?
That's the right color.
Nice. The light kind of adjusts. It's darker probably than it looks here, guys. Yeah, maybe 2. Yeah.
Oh, down? Okay, I'm not sure.
No.
That didn't work. Anyway, but that's it. And then the next thing we'll do.
It's caramelly, very caramelly colored.
Yeah. Let's assume this was 10 minutes, but we did it for 2. Is we would take a ladle, which is where's our ladles, and we will. Excuse me. Take a cup. Now here's the truth. If she doesn't like it, Shreen makes this face. Like, you don't want to even see it if she doesn't
Being
like
very
it.
harsh on me.
Well, I'm just
Okay.
letting people know.
Okay.
They should get to know you a little bit. And usually half a cup is pretty strong. To me, this is as strong as any espresso you could ever
Stronger, I think.
possibly imagine. Yeah, and depending on how long you stew it, the type of tea, and the type of tea you use definitely matters. If you like a black tea, and you can use loose tea too if you want. You just have to strain it a little bit more and brew it properly. We just use tea bags. If I want something really strong, sometimes I'll cut the tea bags and I'll put it in. But I want to do it
Yummy.
really
Try it.
strong.
Very yummy.
Does it need additional sugar, or it was good?
No, does not need more sugar. It's perfect.
Perfect. It's bellissimo. It's great. It's great. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Cheers. Does anyone have any questions before we go? Happy to answer any questions. I'm gonna do it.
Sitting around 4-year-olds too long.
Anybody
sorry.
any questions? Anything? Well, happy holidays. Enjoy your child clock time.
Bye.
Bye.